ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮಾಯ ರಾಮಭದ್ರಾಯ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ವೇಧಸೆ ರಘುನಾಥಾಯ ನಾಥಾಯ ಸೀತಾಯ ಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 17 of Sundara Kanda. In the previous chapter, we saw Hanuman hiding himself in the mid of a Shingshupa tree, fully covered himself by its leaves. He kept looking down through the Ashoka grove and he saw a beautiful woman, though wearing a soiled cloth without any ornaments and completely drenched herself in her tears. And with her graceful look, he assumed that she is none else other than Sita by her very penance towards her husband Rama, towards her consort Rama. He assumed that she is none else other than Sita. And he could able to see the resemblance between Rama and Sita in their despair. Then the moon, pure as a water lily, rose in the stainless heavens, sailing through the firmament like a swan floating on blue waters, as if to aid him with her light. That pure and clear orb covered the son of Pavana with his cool rays. Thereupon that monkey beheld Sita endowed with a moon like countenance, who under the load of grief resembled a heavily laden ship foundering in the waves, and gazing on Vaidehi, Hanuman, born of Maruta, observed a number of grim visaged Titan women at a distance, some with but a single eye or ear, some with ears concealing their visage, some without ears, some with noses on their foreheads, some possessed of disproportionately large heads and long necks, some with sparse hair, and others covered with hair so that they appeared to be wrapped in a woolen cloth. The ears and brows of some were set low, and others' breasts and bellies protruded. Others were knock kneed, stunted, humpbacked, crooked, dwarfed, unkempt, their mouths set awry, their eyes inflamed, their faces fearful to behold, hideous, irascible, quarrelsome. They were armed with spears, darts, hammers, and mallets, and some had snouts like bears, and the muzzles of deer, or the faces of tigers, camels, buffaloes, goats, and jackals, and some had the feet of elephants, camels, horses, and the heads of some were sunk in their breasts. Some had a single hand or foot, some the ears of asses, horses, kine, and elephants, or some the ears of monkeys. Some had enormous noses, some crooked noses, and some none at all. Some had noses like the trunks of elephants, some had their noses fixed in their foreheads, through which they breathed like beasts. The feet of some were like elephants, and some had the feet of kine. Some were hairy, some had huge heads, gigantic faces, and long tongues. Some had the heads of goats, elephants, cows, pigs, horses, camels, and donkeys. These Titan women of formidable appearance held spears and maces in their hands. They were ill humored and rejoiced in discord. Their hair was black as soot or smoke colored, their aspect repellent, and they feasted continually, regaling themselves on wine and meat without case, without stopping, their bodies being spattered with blood from the flesh they consumed. Generally, when it comes to using people for the sake of keeping someone under the guard, generally people buy such people in the slave trades. They used to buy such people who do have the deformed body because one, they create a fear among the people who are held captive. Second, such people are never loved and they are actually rejected by the society. And if someone offers them a little money, a little drink, and some drugs, that is more than enough for them, and they will remain firmly loyal to their owner. And because of that reason, such people are always hired to whenever someone wants to hold somebody in captive. So certainly, even Ravana would have hired such highly deformed ladies purely for the purpose of keeping his large harem in the under the captive. That foremost of monkeys surveyed those Titan women whose appearance caused his hair to stand on end, and who were seated in a circle round the many branched tree under which the divine and irreproachable Janaki stood. And the graceful Hanuman beheld the daughter of Janaka, bereft of her radiance, consumed with grief, her locks soiled with dust like a star which was fallen on the earth, its merits exhausted. Sita, famed throughout the worlds of her fidelity, yet with little hope of being reunited with her Lord, stripped of her jewels, she whose chief ornaments was her devotion to her Lord, while captive by Ravana, appeared like a female elephant separated from the herd, who has been attacked by a lion, or like the moonlight enveloped in cloud at the end of the rainy season. Her beauty dimmed, resembled a she resembled a stringed instrument that one has ceased to pluck and has laid aside. Far from her lord, that illustrious one had fallen under the sway of the Titans without having merited it, sunk in an ocean of grief, surrounded by those Titan women in the mid of the Ashoka grove. She looked like Rohini about to be devoured by Rahu, and beholding her there, Hanuman thought she resembled a creeper divested of its blooms, having lost her radiance, her limbs covered with dust, with her hidden grace. She looked like a lotus spattered with mud. The monkey Hanuman beheld that youthful woman whose eyes resembled a doe's. They are clothed in a soiled and tattered cloth, and though that blessed one was shorn of her beauty, yet her soul did not lose its transcendency, held as it was by the thought of Rama's glory and safeguarded by her own virtue. Beholding Sita, whose eyes, wide with fear, resembled a doe's, casting her glances here and there like a fawn, and consuming the trees and their leaves with her sighs, like a mountainous wave rising from the ocean of adversity, incomparably beautiful with her slender limbs and graceful form, bereft of ornaments. Maruti experienced a great felicity, and Hanuman wept tears of joy at this fortunate meeting, and silently offered obeisance to Rama. Having bowed down to Rama and Lakshmana, the valiant Hanuman, filled with happiness on having beheld Sita, remained there wholly concealed. Thus ended chapter 17 of Sundara Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puramasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime.